Hello and welcome to a JobRobotix tutorial video. In today's video, I want to talk about reports and how to schedule reports to send for you. So reports are a very useful feature within JobRobotix. It's an alternative view to staging. If you go to staging, you see all the jobs pop up like this. You can potentially map them if you and your account do mapping. You can look at data and see it in different ways. Reports tend to be more like a spreadsheet view, a table view. So if you are more familiar with like things like Excel or whatever else, you can work through it with that. But reports also let you do things like send data to different places. You can email it to yourself. You can export the data into a spreadsheet and be able to manipulate it differently like that. Or if you're just more comfortable viewing it in this way, then it's perfectly fine to do that as well. So the power of reports is they let you fully gather and filter out the jobs that you're looking for, specific jobs. And one of the powerful things that you can do with reports is create these configurations. So we're going to start with a configuration. Let's just call this open jobs. And what I'm interested in with this report then is to get open jobs. Hold on, let's do something a little bit more complicated. Open jobs from New York. All right, we have an example job here from New York. And if I select it, it pops up here. We have open selected as well. And if I want if I anticipate needing to look at New York jobs quite a bit, then I can come here and I can say actions, right? I named it something called actions, save as. Save as is what you want to do when you're creating a new report. And so you'll notice that it moved over here and now it's in our list. Now suppose, let's say I wanted to have a different report to look at New York jobs versus California jobs or something like that. So let's go ahead and come in here again, and I'm going to uncheck New York. I'm going to check Nevada. Do I have Nevada jobs? I do. Okay. We'll do Nevada. And so we'll put this one here. We'll change it up. And again, creating a new report, so I'm going to click Save As. So now you'll see we have an open jobs from NY. I can click on it. We have an open jobs from Nevada, and I can click on it. And I can also handle things like canceled jobs, right? And trying to get through these. And this is canceled jobs from Nevada, and apparently there are several. And you can kind of work through it through there as well. All, open, and on. So we can specify whatever we want. You can type values into this. You know, if we wanted to specifically get any job, let me clear this real quick. Any job called general. And if you ever see me type asterisk, it's a wildcard character, so it means any character, any number of characters before, any character, any number of characters after, if you put it before and after. So just looking for general somewhere in the middle. And this is open. If I want like all of them, you notice that there's a few from different sources as well that are general in them. And if I wanted that, I can save a report like this. You know, so general. Again, save as. And let's say, you know, let's be more specific. Let's say I specifically care about burn unit for this report. If I'm ever editing a configuration, I can make whatever adjustments I want. So let's say I care about open burn unit jobs from General Hospital. And that's really what I want this to be. Then I'm going to click Actions, Save, and it saves the current configuration and changes it. And so now if I flip back to this one, you'll notice it changes all my settings back, and I have all of that. There's other things you could do with this as well. We can show jobs. In this case, it's not going to be super helpful through this because I've added all these jobs really recently. But you can look at jobs that were posted within the last hour, 6 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, last week, last month, and then custom date range where I can actually specify between a certain dates as well, if that's helpful for you. Note that this is date posted, so if a job is created for the first time or reopens, it would appear with this date. Note that we have open canceled and open canceled that have a submission. Note Note that we have hidden, manually on hold, and manually canceled jobs. These are all manual things that you can do to a job in staging. So if you select the job and click cancel, it stays canceled forever, and so but you're able to kind of manually pull all the different jobs from that. Imported, has this job been sent to my ATS or not? In this case, none of them have been sent. And then mapped, if you do mapping, which jobs are mapped or not mapped, or auto mapped based on the facility. Is the facility automatically mapped for me for any jobs? So all of these things give you lots of ability to kind of manipulate and change exactly what you want. And I should also add, you have the ability to add and remove columns as well. So let's say we don't really care about source, let's just say we don't care about any of this. All we want is the source ID, the facility, degree, and specialty, right? We'll say something like that. I can specify that and I can save that. And you'll notice as I change back to other ones, it pulls all the other ones back. So if there's ever like a specific bit of data you're trying to look at and you look at frequently, like maybe it's pay calculation kind of stuff, and there are specific fields you care about and other fields you don't care about at the time, you can also manipulate that. It's also worth knowing if I add some extra fields here, let's say I care about like city, state, and zip for a second. If I don't save and I just flip to another one and go back, it doesn't change my configuration. So if you ever need to just add data temporarily, but you don't want to save it, that's another option for you. So adding and remove columns, super useful. Clicking the button on the bottom, very helpful for that. This other button does exporting. So I can click this and it will export the report that I have to a CSV file. And then I'm able to access that later or send that to myself or do whatever I want within Excel for it. And then finally, the other very useful thing, besides you can export here as well, you can delete here if you don't want your configuration anymore. You can also schedule it. So the scheduling is pretty powerful because what it allows you to do is, let's say there's a set of jobs that you want frequently. I know I've seen some customers do this, some of our users, if they, for instance, have certain recruiters they want to send certain jobs to, who maybe they don't have access to JobRobotix, or maybe they want to give them frequent updates or something like that. You want to send all your Nevada jobs to a certain person or something like that. You can schedule it to send every day. You can pick the times, 1, 3, and 6 a.m. or something like that. You can add additional emails. And then you separate the emails by either a comma or a semicolon, and that works either way. You can have it send to yourself by not clicking this button, or exclude you if you're just trying to set this up for somebody else and you don't want to get the emails too. You can do it like that. And then you can also set every week, every month, and you'll see these kind of values change as well. Note that the scheduled times are in Eastern time, so 1 a.m. Eastern. Please adjust accordingly if you're in a different time zone. And once you schedule this, it will create a record in our system, and our system will send an email that includes this attachment every, as often as you've requested it. And the last thing to say about reports is we've been in reports job report, but there are other types of reports as well. So there's XML job report, there's a user login history, there's mapped value reports where you can see kind of like, for instance, all your facilities listed, different ones that you have and how it's mapped currently. So very, very useful, and you can create configurations for these as well. You can schedule these as well. All that's super useful. XML feed, very useful if it's something you use as well, to be able to see what's going on in the XML feed. If maybe it's sending data to your job boards or something like that, and you want to see what exact data is being sent, that's another good place to look. And then lastly, we'll go to my reports as well. Once you create configurations, if they're not private, I guess I didn't mention private. There's a button right here if you wanted to make this private, or if you wanted to, like, for instance, make something default. Then whenever I come back to this page, that'll be the first thing that pops up, right? But if it's not private, then it'll pop up here for everybody to see from all the users in your account. So If you have a constant configuration that you expect a lot of your team is going to need, you can make it not private. You can come up here, and if I have it scheduled, I can even send it to myself from here, and specifically click a button that triggers it to send immediately. If I wanted to do that, or I can click edit from here. It just gives you a different view to be able to see everything that you need to see. So that is reports. And if there's things I didn't cover that you have questions about, or if you have any other questions about anything else and you want to get a hold of us, please reach out to us at GitHelp Support, open a ticket, and we'll be happy to help you walk through whatever you need to understand. Thank you, and have a nice day.